you're doing it. I think you're doing great. I mean, you're a tremendous mom, and
well, you know what? Being a mom definitely kind of like puts that into perspective because you realize like what kind of person do I want my kid to be, and then you're like, well, I have to be a good person now, or my kid's gonna be a jackass. But they keep you in check, you know, and it's like, well, I better not steal that donut. I guess I should pay for it. You know, like you really do have to kind of keep yourself in check because there's a little person watching you all the time, and they really copy what you do. They copy what you say, and I mean, you have to watch what you say. Like you realize, like you know, you can't just go around and say jerky things about people. They listen. They hear it all. You know, so I'm trying to teach her to be a good person, and it's especially tricky because she is like living in this life of extreme privilege, and she doesn't even know it.
People recognize her probably all over the place, right?
Which she hates, by the way. Like, if you ever meet my kid in public, like, don't try to take her picture. She hates it. But, I mean, as I try to explain to people, because people think, like, if you're famous that you're an attention whore, that you got on TV or whatever because you wanted that. And I think when you're an adult, that's true. But for her, she had just turned 4 when she got on TV. She didn't know what being famous even was. She just thought it would be fun to be on TV and to act and stuff like that and play pretend. And she, so kind of the way I explain it to people, because sometimes people get offended how they'll come up to her in public and want to take a picture and she'll like really shy away and I have to tell them like, I'm sorry, she doesn't really like to take pictures, and people get mad at me.
Right, and then you're the
and
bad
I'm like,
guy.
you know, she's 7. I mean, what do you want? She's 8 now, but like, but what I kind of, the way I explain it to people, I'm like, she loves acting. She does not like being famous. And they're two very different things. And for different stars that we see and that we see on magazines and TV shows and stuff, maybe they're not different for them. But when you're like a little kid, it is different. And I don't think it's normal for a 7-year-old to want to take pictures with strangers, nor should it be. So we're not trying to be rude or snotty. People think that think we're too good to take pictures with strangers or something. She's a little kid, and she's an introvert. I'm an introvert. People think also that just because you're a performer that you're an extrovert, which I'm sure you know.
Right.
I think most comedians especially are introverted. I think many of them are.
I agree.
So, yeah, and she's just like me. Like, she just doesn't, when she gets to know you, she won't stop talking. But if you're a stranger to her, like, she just doesn't, it's not comfortable for her.
Well, a couple things I remember you told me that I thought were really interesting. You what does Aubrey want to be when she grows up?
It changes from week to week, Nick. Like, when she was like 4 and 5, she was obsessed with Panda Express. She wanted to work at Panda Express.
Okay.
And I love that, like, and she was on the show already, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the thing that's funny to me is that, you know, she makes so much money, but she doesn't know it. And plus, she doesn't, even if I told her the amount that she makes, which isn't like millions of dollars, she doesn't earn like what the adults do or even the other kids. But, I mean, even if you told, like let's just say, like, just make up a figure, like $10,000. Like, you made $10,000 today, that would mean nothing to her because she thinks getting $20 is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't even understand what $20 buys fully at the age 7. So it's like, it's meaningless to her, right? So she wanted to work at Panda Express. And I was kind of like, ooh, you should probably just keep your day job. Because and she was like, nope, Panda Express. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, do you want to be like the cooks? I'm thinking I could encourage her to be a chef. Thinking like a parent, you know. I'm like, you want to be the person who like cuts up all the food and cooks? She goes, nope. I'm going to be the person who puts the food on the plate. And okay, please, I'm not criticizing you if you like work at a fast food place or whatever. But, I mean, that was, like, her life goal for a while, was to put food on a plate at Panda Express. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to explain to her how you might want to try to make more money because you will be living at my house if you work at Panda Express, and that's not okay.
But she'll be bringing home Panda Express every night for you.
I'm not going to lie, I like it.
Yeah.
But then, after Panda Express, then for a while, she was like, well, I'm either going to be a dancer or a mermaid. Or, you know, like, she would just say these things that were just, like, these great kid answers, like, all right, be a mermaid, why not? And, but now her, like, realistically speaking, is she's older and she can actually think about these things. And, I try to talk to her about your future and, like, what it means to go to college and stuff like that. And, her dream is to do musical theater on Broadway.
Oh, great.
And
she's doing some now.
We
not on Broadway,
did a local production of The King and I, which...
With you?
We both were in it, yeah.
Yes.
I can't even really talk about it because there's a little controversy there. Anyway.
Okay.
But we had an amazing experience, and she loved it, and she's going to start doing some dance instruction. She's done some tap, but she needs to do more dance, and she has so much potential as a dancer. She's very naturally rhythmic and flexible. She's very musical. She's been studying voice for like 2 years now, and she is a phenomenal singer. And I'm not just saying that as her mom, but I mean, kids got the chops. Like, if she wants to go for it, like 100%, she's there. I really believe she'll do what she wants to do if that's what her goal is.
And another thing people don't know, because there's that term stage mom, which is probably really a horrible thing. That with any
there are a lot of connotations there,
right?
Yeah.
But there are actually laws that protect child actors now.
There are. They're not so great, but it's better than nothing. It's better than what there used to be. The misconception is that all the money that minors make goes into a special bank account and that the parents can't touch it, and that is not true, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately. For good parents, stage parents like myself, who are responsible and respectful and professional, what it is that there's 15% minimum of their money earned goes into what's called a Coogan account. And so that is protected, and nobody can touch. The dog is still there, by the way.
Yeah.
She's so blissed out right now. Who wouldn't want to sleep on Nick Arnette's lap? That's my question. So, 15% stays there, and nobody can touch it except for the child when they turn 18. Now, you can designate any percentage per job. So you could say, like, let's say your kid is on like a TV show, and you say, I would like 50% of the money to go to the Coogan, or I would like 100%, but it has to be minimum that you can choose is 15.
Okay.
And you can choose any amount above that, but it has to be at least 15, and then it goes in that account, and it sits there basically like money in a mattress, because it earns like 0.00001% or something like that. It really is. It's not a good savings account. It's just to protect the money. And so a smart parent and a responsible parent would just put in the 15% and then invest and save the other 85 elsewhere where it's going to actually like earn and gain, and put it into like college funds and tax-deferred things and stuff like that. Boring. So that's what's being done with her money, and she has a loan-out corporation and yada yada, and we've got like a wonderful financial advisor and an incredible tax guy, and all these people handle stuff, and it's crazy. Like, you know, she's 7 and she has like payroll. She does nothing about it, but that's part of my job of what I do for her, because I do manage her. So, but the other, 85% is often to the discretion of the parents, and a lot of parents do end up spending their money, and it is a really difficult industry, because on one hand you've got parents like myself who are doing it the right way, and people think that I'm rich because my kid makes a decent amount of money. I'm like, that's not my money. I mean, I could spend that money if I wanted to do something illegal. Mm-hmm. It is illegal to spend that money. But nobody really polices it unless the kids later, sue their parents or something. So it's unfortunate. And on the other hand, though, the sad thing is that many parents sacrifice so much for their children's career that they end up having to live off that money. And what are you supposed to do? I mean, it's very tricky, and there have been, of course, a lot of famous cases of things gone very badly, but those are extreme situations of parents who did take advantage of their children. There are lots of really good, well-intentioned, and loving and kind and good parents who are having to dip into that money because they sacrificed their own job for their kid's job. And I mean, I really feel like there still needs to be so much reform for kids in this business, which, I could get into that for days too, but...
Yeah, and your life is... I mean, you have to know a whole lot of different things, like legal
it's
stuff.
A lot
and
to juggle.
People, you have to know. You're a remarkable woman. You really are.
Why? Thank you, Nick.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's...